All right, for more perspective, we bring in ESPN contributor and baseball historian Howard Bryant. Howard, look, you could talk numbers all day when it comes to athletes, and it tells you a little bit about them as a player. But how would you describe Rickey Henderson in terms of the full context of his career?
Well, the full context of his career, I think when I first think about Rickey, you think about a complete player in terms of changing the way the game is played. In fact, when I think about Rickey now, I think about him in post-retirement. When you look at where baseball is right now, they're trying to get back to what Rickey was. When you look at trying to make the game more exciting, they're thinking about Rickey. When you're looking at enlarging the bases and essentially giving stolen bases away, you're thinking about Rickey. When you've got Kyle Schwarber and Aaron Judge hitting leadoff, you're trying to find a player that can hit the way Rickey can with that kind of power. He's a total offensive package. When you look at Shohei Ohtani and having these one-name great players, the way baseball used to have showstoppers like Ruth and Reggie, these one-name guys, you think about Rickey. He is at the cutting edge of so many different movements in the sport. He is the quintessential baseball player. And more than that, one of the things that I really loved about Rickey as a player too was the way he represented a city. He was Oakland, and very sad and ironic that he passes just a few months after the team leaves for good.
Yeah, huge void there for the legends in the Bay Area with Willie Mays and now Rickey Henderson leaving. You wrote a book about Rickey Henderson titled Rickey, The Life and Legend of an American Original. Now, to say Rickey Henderson was an original may even be an understatement, Howard, but what about his personality and the lore that he had in and around baseball circles?
Well, that's the thing with Rickey is that he is the guy. When I think about him, I thought about him the way we think about Satchel Paige. The combination of Satchel Paige and Yogi Berra combined is, are the Rickey stories true? Are they not true? His personality was enormous. His impact on the game was enormous personality-wise as well, because you have to remember, Rickey was the first part of that first generation of players that came of age in post free agency. Uh, so he's the first superstar guy to really be unafraid to tell people what he thought he was worth. He changed the entire salary structure, the way baseball paid players, and the way they removed players, the way they got rid of players whose contracts were up, who knew that they wanted more money. And so Rickey really was on those cutting edges as well. I think that when you think about Rickey's style, Rickey is the guy who came to the sport. It's a newspaper sport. It's a don't show emotion sport. It's a sport where the old traditions don't translate to television. And Rickey came to a new generation with style, with swagger, with the home run trots, and he played for a television age the way football players do and the way basketball players do. And the sport didn't love it, but a new generation of players idolized Rickey. And he was absolutely that guy who made a new generation of players want to play the game. And now baseball is trying to get back to that. So Rickey, for all the criticisms that Rickey got for being too flamboyant, now baseball misses his style.
You know, Howard, history has been as important to baseball more than any other sport probably in American society. But I feel as if with each passing generation, some of that history gets lost. How do you think Rickey Henderson will ultimately be appreciated by this younger generation of player?
Well, Michael, it's funny. When you think about Rickey, you would think that Rickey was an old school player, but the new school analytics guys love him. They loved him. They resurrected Rickey. In fact, when the numbers guys got involved, they looked at Rickey and realized Rickey was even better than people thought he was when he was playing. So, when he was in his prime before the analytics came in. So he is both. He is the real hybrid. The new generation love him because he does all the things that the analytics guys are looking for at a super high level. But the other thing that he brings is the piece that really has been lost, which is that joy of playing the game, the willingness to play uh, at an athlete's level, in terms of watching the way the game is played and having it played instead of this station to station swing for the fences thing. Rickey brought electricity to the game, and there's nobody like him.
You know, he once said to all the kids out there, Follow your dream, believe in your dream, because dreams do come true. And for Rickey Henderson, he had one dream of a Major League Baseball career. Howard Bryant here on SportsCenter.
Thank you.